folks, me again, the Rock Doctor, coming at you live with my guitar hack of the week, number 24. So, what in the heck was all that crap, right? Okay, well, this is an interesting topic today. I wanted to talk about modes, minor modes, and what the hell are they, and how can you use them in the simplest possible way without hurting your brain. So, in a nutshell there, that backing track that I made up was basically a little groove in E minor really. And the first little section I played the, what they call the Aeolian mode, which is basically, I chose the 12th fret and I used the G major scale to play those lines. And if you look over here, let me pull my dry erase board up. Here's the scale shape I use. This would be the 12th fret. So 12, 14, 15, and so on. That is the G major scale. So as it turns out, if you look at the key of G major, let me pull this back over. If you understand what chords exist in the key of G, what you'll find is, well, there's 7 different chords, but the one I'm primarily worried about here is E minor. It starts on the 6th degree of the scale. That chord lives there. So basically what I'm trying to say is the G major scale creates a flavor if you build your lines with it over E minor that sounds a certain way. In fact, it's the one that most rockers and blues people use all the time, the Aeolian mode. So when you play, here, let me slide this out of the way. When you play something out of this pentatonic home scale shape at the 12th fret, that's really the Aeolian mode. I expanded it and added all the notes of the G major scale, which is also the E minor scale as well. I added this according to that diagram here. Look it up. So what I had there real quick was on the top string 12, 14, and 15. On the A string, same thing, 12, 14, 15. On the D, I just played 2 notes for now, 12 and 14. On the G, I played 11, 12, 14. On the B, I played 12, 13, and 15. On the high E, I played 12, 14, and 15. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, with all 3 of these modes, we'll cover the other 2 in a second. Think of it this way. Let's pretend that the key of E minor, or an E minor chord, let's pretend that that's a steak, okay? That's a steak, and you can season it with different things. You know, so, so, if you build lines off of G major, that's kind of like adding steak sauce to your steak. It works good. It's a certain flavor that it creates. Okay, so there's that one. Now, if I move on, let me pull this back over. You can also use a C major scale to build your lines over a tune in E minor. You can, and it's a different flavor. And it's a little more exotic. But what you can see here is, sure enough, if you look at the chords that are built off of a C major scale, there's an E minor in there. So the C scale will fit E minor. It'll fit the key of E minor. And you got to be a little bit careful. I won't talk about why right now. But yeah, it gives you kind of an exotic sound. So if E minor was a steak, the C major scale might be like soy sauce on your steak. Yeah, a different flavor, still works, but it's totally different. But similar. So there's that. Now let's talk about, slide this back out of the way. Well, if you wanted to use the C major scale to build your lines, you've got to know where to put that basic shape, the one that in my diagram here, this guy. You've got to know where to slide it to get that to happen. So, if you move that home scale shape to the 5th fret, there it is. That's the E Phrygian mode. And it sounds really exotic because you got a lot of this going on. Listen. So there's that E and F and B and C thing happening there that sounds really cool over top of a groove in E minor. So there's that one. On to the final one, sliding it back over. Well, it turns out you can season that steak or flavor it with lines based on the D major scale. And if you look, the chords in D major, well, there's 7 of them, but look, there's an E minor on the 2nd degree. And if you use the D major scale to build your lines over something in E, you get the Dorian mode. Jazzers use it all the time. That's their main one, as a matter of fact. But so check this out. Let me slide it back out of the way. So a D major scale creates another flavor over that E minor steak. Like it would be like putting what? I don't know, garlic butter sauce or something on top of your steak. It still's good if you like that shit, but it's a totally different flavor, but it works for most of us. So how can I take this scale which is G major, and look what the G note is. I'm going to use that as a point of reference. If you reference that the highest note on the low E string in that scale shape, if you slide it back, the whole shape in your mind, slide it back so that your ring finger is on a D note, you can move that scale, you can transpose it to get the sound. So if I move it here, basically in the 7th position now. There it is. So it's a slightly different flavor of E minor. And so basically that was what the video was about. Let me fire the track up one more time. Let me slide this out of the way. And I'm going to do I'll kind of talk while I'm playing though, a little bit. Okay, let me back this thing up to 0. See if you can hear, see if you can hear the different sounds. So I'm going to do a few bars in with the G major sound, the Aeolian sound, a few bars with the Dorian sound, which is D major, and a few bars with the Phrygian sound, which is C major. And you can see me move the scale back. I did that just as a convenience. Once you learn all your scale patterns, you can play anywhere on your neck. But you got to start somewhere with this, so I started with the major scale shape that lines up with the home pentatonic to make it easier to grasp. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, I'm starting out with G major. D major! C major! Once you learn all the scale patterns and have developed licks for each one that you know where you can motor around, you don't have to lock yourself into that one spot. But that's a good point of reference to get it started. So the 3 minor modes and how you can use them. I know a bunch of you guys are going to go, what the F are you talking about? I'm more confused now than I was. Well, if you are, use the internet and study it a little bit if you really want to learn. I'll try to make some more videos about it to talk about it, but you know, I learned it myself. I looked it up. I heard people doing some stuff, and I said, what was that? And, you know, I looked it up years and years ago, before the internet. But, yeah, you can learn. You can learn how to do it. So you're not always locked into that same sound that we always use. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's nice to have some options. And, you know, it might inspire you to, you know, to write a tune just because of the characteristic sound. So, all right, that's it. So it's me, the Rock Doctor. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, order me a pizza. But again, that vending machine pizza, I'm sorry, it ain't good. I'm out of here. I love you. Bye.